On today's episode, we're finally going to close out the NHL Connor saga and complain about the PLL.
We're going to talk about some soccer, maybe meat ride LeBron James just a little bit, and also swimming. Stay tuned.
It's going to be a fucking train.
I have so much caffeine in my system, I'm about to vibrate through my skin. So let's get this going.
Don't shake the mic off the table.
I might.
Welcome to the gray area, where everything we say is obviously up for debate. My name is Greg. His name is Ray.
Let's get after it.
We were a little off on that one.
It's all right, dude. It's all right. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. There's a 66%. That's
I
only
forgot to
kind of failing.
mention Paul's behind the camera again. Hey, Paul.
Yay.
Well, we're going to start quick by closing out the Connors saga. Last week we talked about all the Connors in the NHL, and apparently I missed some.
How many is some?
The claim was that there's 22 Connors in the NHL. I think this guy pulled that list from a Reddit feed from 2022.
Okay.
And all of the names I came up with, minus one, don't actually play in the NHL. They're drafted by NHL teams, but they're in college. They're in the minors, stuff like that.
Farm team or something.
The only one, and somebody commented on Instagram too that I forgot Connor Mackey, but he played one game for the Rangers this season, so I don't really think that counts. I mean, he technically yes, but the names we listed were not of.
So, I mean, we're gonna have to get used to getting wrong. We're gonna be wrong a lot.
Oh no, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm fine, but that wasn't the list we made.
It's a cheap
But people don't
technicality.
know that.
Yeah, whatever.
But just to appease everyone else, I have the rest of them, and I'm just going to name them. I'm not going to name teams or anything like that.
Okay.
Just Connor Benneman, Connor McLennan, Connor Roulette, Connor Lockhart, Connor Hurley, Connor Carrick, Connor Mackey, Connor Corcoran. That's such a hard name to say. Connor Kelly and Connor Geeky. Connor Geeky was not on the list that this guy made on Reddit. He was next year's draft pick, so he got drafted by the Arizona Coyotes. Right. So I just pulled him in.
I gotcha.
But that finally concludes the Connor saga.
That puts us at 22, technically.
23.
23.
23, and then Connor Kelly is the honorable mention.
Okay.
Or not Connor Kelly. I don't know why I said Connor Kelly. Kyle Connor is the honorable mention.
Okay.
Paul, what did you say?
We're not going to do that math. We're not here to do math.
We also had some. Apparently, Matt Rempe fights are controversial, and I don't know why. It's just hockey fights. Somebody commented on our on YouTube. Rempe doesn't know how to fight. Well, I mean, he's a rookie, and also that guy that commented it probably doesn't know how to fight.
Oh yeah. I mean, you said this guy was like 6'7", right? I don't really think you even know how to fight.
He's
throwing anvils at people's heads.
And I just don't know why people are complaining that somebody's fighting. Fighting in the NHL is decreasing significantly, and it's fun to have somebody.
I agree, and it's really entertaining. If you're fighting against fighting, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Somebody else reconsider your life.
Somebody else said he only won one fight against a broken down Matt Martin. New York propaganda.
Okay, so the guy's probably from like Boston or something, and he just really doesn't.
I just don't know how it's propaganda. Oh well. And then somebody replied to his comment and said he's only lost one fight. Go get some new glasses. I commented and said, I think you guys are missing the point. And they got mad at me for saying that I was missing the point.
It's the internet, dude.
I told him to go watch the full clip, and the guy says, I watched it 10 times. I don't need to go watch it again. I was like, well, you obviously didn't watch the whole clip.
Also, he only won one fight. What about that dude that just face was completely destroyed? Is that what he's referring to? Or you said he like stamped the state of New York on his forehead?
I don't know if that's the one that it's. I mean, normally the guy that falls down first loses, but 2 of the 4 now, because spoiler alert, Ryan Reeves. I'm sure you've all seen it. They just stop. Also, they just call it off.
Is that what we have up first?
Yeah, so Paul, cue that. For those of you watching the full podcast, this is probably going to be blurred. We will clip it, and you can go watch the full fight on our channel. So
Jesus Christ, he's so much taller than Reeves.
Honestly, this was my favorite fight so far of his. I think this was the best one.
Reeves is like dodging, like he's Floyd Money Mayweather. Look, he's like not.
Yeah.
He's got like ultra instinct. Oh. Yeah, Reeves is sticking him.
I like his jabs. I like he's got his jersey and he's just jabbing him in the nose. Yeah, they just called it. No, it was the fighters just said, all right, we're done.
Right.
And then Reeves' face as he skates off, he's like, all right, I see it. I'll give it to him.
Yeah, Reeves is no pushover either. He's been beating people's ass for like 10 years,
Yeah.
12 years. How long's he been in the league?
I don't know exactly. He doesn't have a face mask on, so it's been longer than that.
Fair. Yeah, good point.
But this kid, so this is his fourth fight, and he is just destroyed right now.
Did he have a shiner?
Yeah, but not. Paul, can you back it up and just pause it on his face? Right.
It'll flip.
Wait for it. Yeah, right here. It's all right. There. Yeah, that black guy's from those last fight.
That makes sense. It looks like he's got like not as bad of one on this side, and the other side is brutal. Yeah. So he got knocked around.
Well, he looked at the bench for right before the fight. He looks back at his bench. He's like, "Can I do this?" And they were just like, "Yeah, go." All of his other fights were at the beginning of the game. This one was right at the end.
Okay.
I think Reeves was kind of egging him on, and so he was like, "All right, whatever, I'll go."
So he's just a classic goon.
Yeah, honestly, this kid probably needs to stop.
Well, yeah, he's gonna get CTE.
Yeah, he's gonna get hurt real bad. It's gonna end his career, or could be worse.
Every once in a while, fine. Nonstop. You said this is fifth fight or his fourth fight? Fourth fight.
It's been fun. Don't get me wrong. This has been awesome, and we need more of this, in my opinion. But this kid doesn't need to be doing it all.
Yeah, how old is
himself. I don't remember what I said. 21, something like that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Save some brain cells. You'll need them for later.
All right. That's all I have for hockey today, which is kind of surprising because I like watching hockey. So, anyways, are you familiar with the Premier Lacrosse League or the PLL?
I know what it is.
All right. So they were founded in 2019 by Paul Rabel. Paul Rabel's a huge lacrosse name.
Okay.
They just released their rule changes for 2024. Most of them are fine, but there's one particular rule that's kind of got the entire lacrosse world up in arms.
All right.
That nobody likes, and it's a player may not use a long pole for a face-off.
Okay.
So a long pole is a 6-foot stick, essentially, and typically your face-off guy uses a short stick. It's usually a short stick midfielder. Can't talk. And for whatever reason, they won't allow long poles anymore to take the face-off. I think, based on comments I've read, just people on the internet, there's a Water Dogs player, which is one of the PLL teams, obviously, who was just wrecking people at the face-off line.
With the long stick?
With the long pole. Yeah, so it was just him with his long stick just taking face-offs and just destroying people. I actually haven't seen a face-off with him, so I don't know if he's in there just hacking people's hands and slashing them, or if he's actually making good face-offs. But I guess enough coaches and player safety advocates complained about it, so they're changing this rule, but nobody's happy about it. The league's kind of hard to follow, and this is part of the reason. Lots of rule changes. Like every year, there's like new rule changes, so it's hard for new people to get in to the sport.
Like brand new, right? 5 years.
Yeah, but it's from the outside looking in, and I don't know that much about the league. Because it's kind of hard to watch. You have to have ESPN Plus, which I don't subscribe to anymore. The sport is growing, but like I said, it's hard to follow because the rules are changing, and it's starting to have kind of a bigger separation from college and on down. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
They introduced a 2-point shot, which is cool. That's probably my favorite rule in the professional league.
Okay.
But no one else is doing that, and they're kind of making a push toward this sixes format, which is way different. It's just 6-on-6 lacrosse. It's a lot like indoor box lacrosse. Have you ever seen that?
I played indoor lacrosse. Yeah. I don't know
Have
if
you
I
seen the National Lacrosse League, which is
that the
the
Mammoths and
NLL?
those guys?
Yeah. So sixes is similar to that, except they can't fight
Okay.
and stuff like that. Anyway, I don't know. There's some frustrations there, and also they just announced, I guess it was last summer, that the teams they're finally going to be tied to a city. So prior to this season, which the season starts in June, they weren't tied to any city, so they didn't really have an identity or a brand other than their name, I guess.
So they were just floating around playing at random
Yeah,
venues?
so the league floats around
Okay.
and plays at random venues, which is what they're going to be doing this year, but they're also going to have a hometown, and I think they're going to play at that hometown at least one weekend.
Okay.
So it's a traveling league essentially, which is fine for growing the sport, but they never play in the Midwest. Not anywhere near us. You'd think they'd come to St. Louis once or Kansas City, and maybe they have in the past, and I've just missed it. I think they've been to Minnesota.
That makes sense if it's more north, but do you think the market's big enough here to support that?
I think it could be, and I think it would grow the game. They don't have to play them all here,
Right.
but they play a lot on the East Coast,
That
a
makes
lot on the
sense,
West Coast. There, 5 of the 8 teams are all East Coast teams.
Okay.
And then the other 3 are Denver, Utah, and California.
Okay,
so those are the West Coast. Yeah, so the closest team to us, which wouldn't even be close, is probably Denver.
Yeah.
That would be my guess.
And that's far.
Yeah. So it's a little disappointing. I understand what they're trying to do. I think they're trying to go where the market is,
Sure.
and then it grow from there. But I feel like they didn't even try to put one close.
You got to remember, there's only 8 teams. So
yeah, I mean, it's gonna grow.
The only big city in the Midwest, really, if you're doing a top 8 list, would be Chicago,
which would have been fine.
Yeah.
But I don't know if there's any market there. I don't know anybody from Chicago that plays lacrosse. Do they have an indoor team?
I do not think so.
Tell us, do they have an indoor team? I feel like they do, or they used to anyway. Anyway, that's PLL rules, and I don't know. I think I'm tired. I don't say I'm tired of it because I hardly watch it, but I don't want them to come so far away from their roots that they kind of ruin the game. And that's kind of what the consensus on the internet is right now, is that they're separating from their roots. It's the oldest sport in North America. It's
right.
I'm pretty sure it's thousands of years old, which is sick.
That is cool because it's a native sport, right?
Yeah. That's all I have on the PLL. Do you have any thoughts?
I understand what you're saying, but I think because other lacrosse leagues have been around and aren't growing super rapidly, so maybe they're just trying to stand out from the pack, make moves to get more viewership.
Well,
and it's high risk, high reward, like you're saying. Some people aren't going to like it. Some people might like it a lot, but
they are growing. They say they're growing rapidly, and they're definitely doing better than Major League Lacrosse and the NLL, which was, I guess, National Lacrosse League or National League Lacrosse, one of the two. Well, shoot. Now I'm having a brain fart. NLL is indoor, which they're competing with, I guess, technically. I know some of the players play both, actually.
Right.
MLL was Major League Lacrosse, which they merged with PLL when they came out. So they were dying, and basically Paul Rabel came into MLL and poached all the players.
And started doing this.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Maybe he's just trying to mix it up, but we'll see. I'm sure, like you said, it's just started. It's going to be volatile. They'll settle into something. But we just have to give it time, I suppose.
Yeah, that's all I got for that. The next thing I have, I was right before this. You got here to do this. I saw a video on Instagram of McCabe Millen of University of Virginia. He scored a hat trick in the first 2 minutes of this game. I don't know when the game happened. It could have been today. It could have been yesterday. Whatever. The post was from less than an hour ago when I saw it.
Okay.
But we got it pulled up on Instagram because I couldn't find it on YouTube yet.
Gotcha.
So here's the Instagram post from the Lacrosse Network. First 3 goals of the game, first 2 minutes of the game. Go ahead.
Just a little bit of a jump shot.
Yeah, the first goal was good, but the next two, they just get better.
He just does a turnaround, like, fader.
You can see just a quick move, just a little bit of a jump shot.
Yep. All right, go to the next one.
Perfect placement in the goal. 2 quick goals from X by McCabe-Millen, and just again a different move. It just shows his versatility.
Oh, well, that's just filthy.
Yeah.
That poor goalie.
Didn't stand a chance.
2 quick goals from X by McCabe-Millen.
One more time, Paul. Here we go.
Move. It just shows his versatility. Starting left.
That's so sad.
That's
All
disgusting.
right, go to the next one. You'll like this. You'll like this one even more.
The backhand goal, and now the over-the-shoulder.
Behind the back.
This guy's just stunting.
I mean, this is a pretty common shot these days.
Like that?
Yeah, I'm seeing it in high school, college, all the way up through pros, obviously. They do it a lot. That was a great shovel pass, too.
I mean, that's just disrespectful at that point.
Yeah, it was sick.
He already hit like a turnaround fader, then a wraparound diving goal, and then he hits you with a little behind the back. That's just mean.
It's so fun to watch.
Do you know what they ended up winning? Like by?
I have no idea. Like I said, I couldn't find the full game anywhere or highlights anywhere other than this. I'm sure we could look it up and figure it all out, but again, I don't even know when the game
that's
was.
nasty.
I don't know
If
when
they
it was
end up
played.
losing that, I'd laugh my ass off, but I highly doubt it.
I wonder if the comments you don't have to scroll, Paul, but we can just read question mark backhand BTB treating RMU like it's practice. Not only that, but it was 3 trick shots question mark crease dive BDB.
Couldn't have happened without the face-off guy. Somebody's really trying to rep the other teammates.
Well, I mean, the face-off guy's important. That's why.
I'm absolutely. But
Yeah,
I get you.
I think that's why people are upset about the PLL rule.
Because if one guy's just dominating, yeah.
Well, they changed the shot clock rule. Going back to PLL, they changed the shot clock rule last season. I think they went from like a minute down to 52 seconds, and then on the face-off, it's a 32-second rule. So what that does is essentially eliminates the FOGO, which is face-off get-off. It's a specialty position where the guy literally just goes in, takes the face-off, dishes it off to the next guy, and then gets off the field. But because of the shortened shot clock, they can't do that anymore. They essentially have to play the ball. They either have to go in and take a shot, or they have to take their possession all the way into the opposing team's side of the field.
Okay.
And they can't just dish it off to a winger anymore. I know there's a lot of people upset about that. I don't really understand it. Why people are so upset about it, I guess. I'm trying to figure that out. I haven't figured it out yet.
Okay. Well, get to the bottom of that and get back to us.
That was it for lacrosse. Somebody commented on our video too. I guess this is our first video.
Okay.
And they wanted to know, they said, how much are hockey players making these days? I remember when them and WNBA players being like average $80K. I know that WNBA players are still basically making $80K. Hockey players are not making $80K anymore. But I don't know what time period he's talking about where it would have been, where they would have been making the same thing, because the NHL has widely pulled away from the WNBA.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty safe.
So I pulled a list of the average salaries from like the biggest leagues in North America.
Okay.
Just kind of just kind of for fun. So to compare, the NHL average salary is $3.5 million.
All right.
WNBA is $113K. I should also preface that with, I pulled these from like the first page of Google that showed the current year or last year.
Yeah.
There was no database of all the leagues or whatever, at least not that I could find. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but
Okay.
these are probably close. NBA, $9.5 million a year. MLB is 4.5. MLS, I was actually shocked at this number. It's $438,000 as of 2022. I actually thought they were much bigger than they are. I guess because of Messi and
Certain
Beckham and
players
stuff.
probably are bringing that number up
Sure.
a lot. But yeah, they're not getting paid too much. Like I said last episode, it's like the 14th biggest soccer league in the world. It's not that big.
The league minimum is, as of 2023, is $67,000.
In the MLS?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's rough. That's
Yeah,
like
that's
you got to
tough.
have 2 jobs, kind of. Yeah.
And
That's
then
brutal.
the PLL, which is obviously a new league, this is super low, but it's also super cool because for the first time ever, lacrosse players can make actual money now.
Mhm.
They used to only make like $8,000 or $10,000 or maybe 25 if they were really good. But it's hard to say exactly what the revenue or what the minimum is, I guess, because it varies based on league revenue. But I think the minimum is 25,000 a year. Average is probably 35,000. I got this all from a YouTube video I watched. And then top players maybe make around 50K just from the league.
Right.
But players get health benefits. They get shares of the league, which is cool. So the more they push the sport in the league and help it grow, the more return they get.
That's smart if you're just starting something.
They get a travel stipend. So because they travel for every weekend, they get money for that. They get tons of free gear, obviously.
Yeah. And then I guess if you can snag any kind of endorsement
and
deal.
then they're getting these big sponsorship deals, bigger than most lacrosse professional players have ever gotten, I guess.
Okay.
So
it looks like people are watching.
So some of the best players can get 6 figures without much serious effort.
I would never have guessed that.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. So some of these guys are really making some money now. I think it's time for you.
Is it?
Yeah.
All right, we're flipping over to me then. We're going to start out with some MLS highlights. STL City played New York recently, and I wanted to show the goals that we scored because they were super pretty. Paul, could we flip that video on? So the first goal is going to be at the 155 mark. You can play it from here. That's fine. This goal is dirty.
Did you watch this?
I did.
Oh!
He dribbles like 3 dudes and then just tucks it into the corner. The goalie didn't stand a chance. Let's watch that one more time. They should replay it. Also, David Friesen.
I was
goal.
about
That's
to
crazy.
say that. Kind of looked like him, too. We got a follower on Instagram who commented, I'm only following because you guys are repping STO.
Hey, we got it. Yeah.
I commented back. I'll take what we can get.
Watch. No, it'll. Through 3 guys.
Oh, my gosh.
That's the only place he could have shot it. That's wild.
What
All
a
right.
dive by the goalie.
He tried, but he placed it perfectly. Okay, and then the second goal is at 4:08. That'll work. This guy has like no angle. Watch this.
Oh, wow.
Right over him. Yeah.
I want to see that from another angle. It almost looked like he nicked the post. Like
It had to have been close. But did you see who assisted on that?
No, I didn't.
Pompeo is the same guy who scored the last one. But also, the way they play this, it's perfect because he never goes off sides. Look, watch. He hesitates.
Oh, yeah.
Takes off.
Perfect.
No angle.
Oh.
Squeaks it past him.
Yeah, that was sick.
But yeah, so we end up winning that game. So that brings our record to 1 victory and 1 tie,
Good for them.
which got us dead average in the league right now. But we're only 2 games in.
Ties to me are still so silly.
It's part of the sport.
I know it is. I can't imagine paying for the game, especially these tickets. They're not cheap.
Right.
And then they just tie. And there's there's no outcome.
Yeah, you're not
there's
happy
no closure.
or sad. Yeah, you're just in a gray area. There we go. That's a plug, boys.
Nice.
That's a plug.
Nice.
All right.
That was horrible.
Yeah, well, it needed to be done.
I hate you.
I joined the club. All right, so the next clip, it's this controversy that happened in swimming, and let me tell you, I know nothing about swimming. I
Can you
know
swim?
Michael Phelps used to be really good at it, and it stops me from drowning. That's the extent of my knowledge. But he got a medal stripped of him. He's an NC State swimmer. And you're going to see a video of the guy who ended up winning because they took the first place away from this dude,
Right.
and him talking about it. And let's just cue that up because it's one of the dumbest things I've ever seen.
I know for you, congratulations on one hand. Do you have any idea what happened and your emotions right now? I think that's the dumbest rule in swimming. Owen beat me fair and square. He should be on that total podium. He was excited. That's a huge swim for him, right? He earned that. He earned that, and that's his emotion, right? That's what we get in the sport of swimming when we do well. We train all year for a moment like that, and to have him disqualified, I think, is the dumbest thing ever.
So he got DQ'd for...
He went into the other person's lane after he won. They'll show it.
I am not going to stand up there.
Ross, do you mind if I ask you what rule did he break? We haven't even heard of.
Oh, okay.
Whenever you win, you're not allowed. Well, the other teams, or excuse me, the other swimmers are still swimming. You have to stay in your own lane. You're not allowed to jump or cross over the lane line into someone's lane. And in his celebration, which he earned, he came over to my lane.
Oh my God.
No, he earned that fair and square. He will be getting that medal.
To show it?
Yeah, they'll show it.
Ross, well done.
Thank you, Ross.
Thank you.
Thank you for spending.
But the fact that that dude was willing to defend him that hard
Yeah.
after he would have come in first, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Look, and this dude's just devastated.
You can hear the crowd.
Yeah, he works his whole life for this.
I know.
So
Here.
there were still a lot
So he
of
wins
time
and he does
over
this.
50 yards
So this guy had already
most of
finished.
it
And he
combines
goes
and
into
this
his lane.
Oh, he's not...
Yeah, he's not stopping anybody from finishing. He's just celebrating.
That's what you do when you win. I'm sorry.
Oh,
And then
the rope rolls.
And then they
Took,
Well,
Come
they're saying
on.
just throwing your leg over in
That's-
general. Yeah. I think
That's the
that's
most ridiculous.
incredibly lame.
I agree with this guy.
I don't know if they stuck by the decision or if they overturned it and gave it to the guy. But the fact that the dude who would have came in first after the DQ was like, that's dumb, give it to the guy who actually won, just shows you how stupid it is.
So I guess he was a second place guy then?
Yeah.
Or they just decided to give it to first, whoever's lane he fell in. They're just like, oh, no, this guy's in first.
No, but yeah, he came in second, and yeah, and it just immediately
Yeah, that's
was
garbage.
Fired up, just like, this is stupid. That guy earned it. He beat me.
Just like every sport ever.
Yeah.
You work your whole life to win
Yeah.
and to be the best.
Yeah, that's brutal.
Oh,
but
my gosh.
I don't know how many times we'll cover swimming. This might be a monumental occasion, but I thought
well, the
that was
Olympics this summer, maybe.
True.
That's the only thing
Right.
that they show. So
Right. I just want to diversify the game a little bit, so
No,
we
I
got
like
that
it. I
going.
like
yeah.
it.
Now, the next segment, we're gonna flip into everyone's favorite, Ray's basketball corner. And we're gonna start with Caitlin Clark breaking the NCAA scoring record. That's not just for women; that's for men too. NCAA basketball scoring record.
I didn't realize that until I think it was yesterday. I just saw another random thing online, a headline or whatever, and I just clicked on it and started reading, and I had no idea that I thought it was just women's.
Nope, it's everything.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I have a clip of her just hitting the points that put her over, if we wanted to cue that up, and then her giving an interview afterwards.
It was right at the beginning of the game, right?
Up in Cedar Rapids.
Relative, it's
Now
like the
Caitlin
end.
at the
It was right at
line.
half.
For the record.
Look, and I don't even think she knew she beat it.
She didn't care.
This
She's just playing a game.
for college basketball history.
Bang. Look, and then they go crazy. And she's like, oh, I guess I beat it.
Caitlin Clark becomes the all-time leading scorer.
Yeah, she wasn't counting how many points she had that game.
Right.
Passing pistol Pete Maravich is with Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin, a history-making shot from the free throw line there. Is that going through your mind at all?
Not really, but then when they announce it and everybody screams, that's when I knew. But
See.
pretty cool. A good half for us. I think
Good
we
for
can
her.
do a little better.
She moves
on
right
our
past it.
defense and clean it up a little bit. But proud of our girls. We're fighting, and they're a really good team. They're gonna
She's
do
a team
the best
player.
they got.
Yeah.
You certainly have done that. They made you earn everything on offense. What do you need to do well in the second half?
I think, keep switching up our defenses. I think that's causing them a little bit of problems. I think taking care of the ball, had a couple turnovers we didn't really need. Knowing
So
when to
this is
slow
like her
down on
last
our offense,
game.
but also knowing when to
You
push.
thought
So
I thought
think
she'd put
balancing
more
those two things and then
She just
figuring
quit?
out-
value on it. No, she's going to go into the WNBA. It's the end.
Oh, it's the last
I'm
game of the
pretty
season?
sure.
Oh.
At least that's what I saw.
Possession matters. That's always what we say at halftime.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure.
Is she a senior?
Yes.
Okay.
So she's played 4 years, and
Yeah.
this season she averaged 32 points a game, which is pretty unprecedented.
That's like half the points in the game.
Yeah, right. So the record that she beat was Pistol Pete Maravich. I don't know if you know who that is.
No, but they said it there.
Ask your dad about him. He'd
He'll
probably
know.
like him a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
He's just an old school point guard.
know. Okay.
And he played, I think, 4 years of college, which doesn't usually happen anymore. But the old record was 3,667 points. And then at the end of that game, Caitlin had 3,685.
Holy cow.
So she
Yeah.
got there, but by like 20 so.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Good for her.
And rolling into the next clip, speaking of records, my boy LeBron James, first player in NBA history to ever hit the 40,000 point mark.
That's also insane. In one game?
Yeah, in one game. 40,000 points in one game.
I made that joke to you already. It's not funny. This.
It wasn't funny the first time. Well, roll that clip.
To take a shot of this. James against Porter. Drive, spins, gets inside. It's good. It's 40.
Just a basic layup. He's just been doing it for 21 years.
Do you think he knew?
Oh, yeah, he knew. When he broke the record the first time he was counting, I'm sure he has the, yeah.
He's got the whole count in his head.
Yeah, watch. Watch what he does. He knows. I'm shocked they didn't stop the whole game. They did it when he broke the scoring record. They stopped the entire game.
All the fans stormed the court. He accidentally hurt his knee. I can't stand LeBron James.
I get it. I totally get it.
I'm not even a big. I'm not a big basketball fan or follower.
Right.
And LeBron James makes me so mad.
He's divisive.
Did you see him get hit in the head the other day by
Threw himself to the floor.
Dort? I think his name was.
Yeah.
He barely touched him, and he just cried for like 15
It's called
minutes.
flopping. Everybody does it.
It's so bad, though.
I know it's annoying, but it happens. So, like I said, LeBron, 21st year, he's 39 years old, gets to 40,000 points. So let me just break this down for you. He's first in points with 40,036 points. He's 30th in rebounds with 11,057, and he's fourth in assists, and this is all time, with 10,855.
Wow.
He's the only guy in history that's gotten that many points and also cracked 10,000 in the other categories.
That's crazy.
So we're never going to see anything like this again as long as we're alive.
Good for him.
Yeah, it's insane. And to continue down the LeBron James meat writing segment, the Lakers were playing the Clippers last week, and they were down by 21 in the fourth. And LeBron James just decided that he didn't want to lose. So we have that queued up.
How many points?
Total?
How many did he score in the game total?
30-something. But he scores 19 in this fourth quarter. He also was just cash from three, and he usually doesn't. He's not like he's okay, but he's not this
three
good.
shooter.
Yeah, he's all right. Like he's definitely above average, but he's not, 5 for 5 good.
He just didn't want to lose.
You can't lose to the Clippers, dude. It's Los Angeles. They're both from L.A. And the Clippers are substantially better than the Lakers this season.
At least it wasn't the Pistons.
We did almost lose to the Wizards the other day, which they have the same record.
Yeah.
We had to beat them in OT. It was brutal.
Gosh.
It's crazy that he straight up wills them back.
Why aren't you this good?
At basketball?
Yeah.
Because I'm short and unathletic.
Fair enough.
Gotcha there, dude. Exactly, yeah. He was like, if you're bad, that makes me bad, and I'm not going to be bad.
LeBron with 29, 4 threes in the third. Shot clock at 5, and now Harden switches out. This is what James wants.
Yeah, during this,
Yeah.
he scores or assisted on 11 of the 12 final baskets.
Holy cow.
It's outrageous. This man is 39. He's going to be 40. He's the oldest man in the league.
Have we already talked about his kid?
Bronny?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't, he'll probably get drafted, but I don't think he should.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he gets drafted. I know LeBron wants to play with him.
Right.
Is he just going to get a contract with whatever team drafts his kid?
So LeBron's contract's up at the end of this year.
Okay.
And that's when his son would get drafted. So maybe. He did say he wanted to play with him before he retired. I don't know how many years he's got left in the tank.
Do you think Bronny will just get drafted just so they can get a season with LeBron?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then he'll just never play again, or what? I don't know where. I know he's not very good, but I don't know where he compares, how he compares to some of these other guys.
He's not. I mean, he needs to spend more time in college if he wants to develop, because I think right now he's averaging like 6 points a game.
Okay.
So he has to be able to develop more, but he won't because a team wants the chance at getting LeBron.
I assume they have like minor league too.
Yeah, there's
So
like G League.
They could draft him and then he could play for them and then they could pull him up later. And
Yeah, he could, but he wants to be on the court in the NBA with his son.
no, I get that.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like the team. Like after they lose LeBron, they just put Bronny back down and
Probably.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So he's basically just like a rental so you can get his dad, which has to suck. That's got to be a weird feeling.
He's gonna make a bunch of money off it though.
Maybe
Even though he doesn't
I mean,
have
yeah.
to. He's got his dad's money.
I don't know how high they'll draft him though. So in the NBA, based on where you're picked, that's how much money you make.
Interesting.
So if you're a first overall pick, you're gonna make more money than the guy who got drafted at 15.
Right.
So there's only 2 rounds. I don't know if somebody's willing to take him as a first round pick
Mm-hmm.
and like passing up on a guy that could actually be beneficial to the team just at a chance to get a year of LeBron James. I don't know.
Probably not worth it.
I don't know. I guess it depends on if you want to sell tickets or if you're already like if he falls far enough down to where your team's already good and then you just get LeBron too.
And you just capitalize.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
So I'm not sure, but I went a little Lakers heavy this episode and I do apologize. So I'm going to end the segment with something that's going to make me really sad, but Boston fans really happy. The Celtics are on an 11-game winning streak.
All right.
Okay, so they just played the Warriors recently. They beat the Warriors 140-88.
Whoa.
Dominated them. They scored 82 points and a half. That's
insane.
24 minutes of basketball. They dropped 82 on them. The record, just so you have like of how like rare that is, the record is held by the 1990 Suns.
Okay.
They dropped 107 and a half, and they finished with 173.
Holy cow.
So they're not like insanely far off.
Yeah.
It's like 20 points, but that 82 points and a half doesn't happen super often.
Is that the highest scoring game ever? The 1990?
No, I don't think so. But it's got to be close with
yeah.
173. Yeah.
Well, if they broke the record in one half,
Right.
Yeah.
So Boston's on a tear.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They're the scariest team in the league right now. We'll see if anybody can beat them.
Good for them.
I'm hoping somebody in the East can stop them.
Yeah.
But odds are they won't. And also just to make myself feel better after that making me really sad, the longest winning streak of all time is 33 games in a row by the 72 Lakers. So get 22 more in a row and then you can talk to me. All right? But that concludes my segment.
And that concludes our show.
All right. Yeah, after I've depleted myself of serotonin by
Good
talking
job.
about how good Boston is, we can ride off into the sunset.
I hate Boston.
Oh, God, we both do. Cut it there.